The sports media establishment just got hit with a massive reality check, and the tired, fabricated narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark has officially been dismantled on live television by someone who actually knows the game. For years, the league's old guard and lazy critics have obsessed over her turnovers, even slapping her with mocking nicknames, while intentionally blinding themselves to her historic scoring and gravity-defying assists. But during Sunday's national NBC broadcast, that double standard was surgically obliterated. Welcome back to WNBA Pro. Today, we are weaponizing pure, cold analytics to shatter the turnover myth and prove exactly why Clark is the most devastating offensive engine in basketball. We are breaking down how she carries an unprecedented, crushing load for her franchise, while simultaneously exposing a glaring irony. While national broadcasters fiercely defend her elite impact, the Indiana Fever's own internal marketing blunders and strategic failures are actively triggering empty seats and tanking attendance numbers in Indianapolis. This isn't a scheduling fluke. It is organizational mismanagement, and we are exposing the real data behind the young 2026 season right now.
Anything to nitpick Caitlin Clark on, and we all know that. So let's take a listen to what she had to say about Caitlin Clark being some sort of turnover machine. Let's get into it.
From the charity stripe tonight, Caitlin Clark has been responsible for 38 of Indiana's 77 points so far.
Yeah, and I feel like that's worth mentioning, LaChina, because...
Okay, now pay attention. She's about to address this turnover situation.
You know, we all read the comments, right? We see that some folks...
During a high-stakes battle against the Seattle Storm, Caitlin Clark was delivering an absolute masterclass in efficiency when analyst LaChina Robinson dropped a staggering metric. By the third quarter, Clark had single-handedly generated 38 of Indiana's 77 points, weaponizing that near 50% offensive dominance. Play-by-play voice Kate Scott immediately silenced the internet trolls, podcasters, and bitter ex-players who obsess over Clark's turnover numbers, firing off a heavy-hitting reality check, comparing her to NBA giants like Nikola Jokic and Cade Cunningham, who both averaged nearly 4 turnovers while carrying elite passing loads. Scott's definitive welcome to the sport of basketball called perfectly expose the ignorance of the establishment, finally injecting basic basketball mathematics, extreme usage rates, and the undeniable reality of a heliocentric superstar into mainstream media narrative.
Turnovers, but the question for you is, you read the comments?
Just when they're about other people.
That's a dangerous
I was
place
like,
to be.
why are people... Caitlin's turn because she holds the basketball for the majority of the 40 minutes. Welcome to the sport of basketball. Okay, I'm off the soapbox now.
All right, Kate Scott, you are a truth teller, girl. Kate Scott.
When you look at the raw numbers, it's easy to see why the toxic mainstream media jumped all over Caitlin Clark's 11 turnovers across her first 2 games of the 2026 season. 5 against the Dallas Wings in the opener, and 6 against the Los Angeles Sparks. Social media vultures instantly twisted those figures into a definitive narrative that she was choking under elite WNBA pressure and lacked the stability to anchor a championship contender. But that lazy box score deep analysis completely ignored the elite tactical reality that Kate Scott uncovered. Clark isn't turning the ball over because she's struggling. She's turning it over because she is operating at a hyper-advanced, supersonic velocity that her own squad is still trying to decode. She is pushing a relentless pace on a historically slow tempo team, threading high-risk, high-reward passes through claustrophobic defensive windows that ordinary point guards wouldn't even dare to look at. In the stratosphere of basketball, split-second risks against defense schemes specifically engineered to stop her will inevitably lead to dropped passes or disrupted lanes that unfairly count against her personal stat line. But when those jaw-dropping targets connect, they don't just result in points. They completely shatter the defense and cement her status as an unstoppable force.
Okay, because all of the high usage rate guards have turnovers, okay? She said Cade Cunningham, Detroit Pistons, averaged about 9.5 assists a game. Detroit Pistons rely on him to create everything. He averages about 4 turnovers, okay? The Joker, okay? The multiple-time MVP, NBA champ.
The hard basketball reality is simple. You cannot decouple Caitlin Clark's elite, high-volume playmaking from her turnover numbers, as they are 2 sides of the exact same offensive coin. Look at NBA giants like James Harden during his peak scoring years in Houston, or heliocentric engines like LeBron James and Luka Doncic. When you are the absolute lifeblood of professional offense, and your usage rate dictates that you initiate nearly every half-court action, turnovers are the structural tax you pay for running a maximum volume system. Clark is currently dealing out a lethal 9 assists per game, cementing her in the top 3 of the entire WNBA. Yet the media establishment remains desperately hyper-focused on her mistakes in an obvious double standard against a player actively rewriting the record books. But while national broadcasters like Kate Scott are finally injecting analytical truth into the conversation, a glaring friction is developing within the organization itself, where the Indiana Fever front office and marketing department are drawing massive internal heat from fans for bizarre strategic choices and tone-deaf promotional campaigns that are completely undermining their own generational superstar.
Absolute clowns, okay? They are moving like absolute clowns, make no mistake about it. So the Indiana Fever put together, the graphics lately for the Indiana Fever have not been showcasing Caitlin Clark at all. And I 100% believe it is intentional. Okay, so if you look at this graphic here, they have Raven Johnson, okay, and you see is promoting.
The direct result of this bizarre marketing approach is complete operational sabotage, sparking absolute fury from a fan base that refuses to accept the deliberate sidelining of a generational icon. When the league and the franchise choose to bury Caitlin Clark, who is literally leading the WNBA in assists and dominating the scoring charts, behind rotational players like Raven Johnson on high-profile pregame graphics, it transcends casual oversight and enters a realm of intentional disrespect. Prominent media voices and millions of fans are calling out this moronic strategy, noting that no other professional sports league would ever promote a marquee matchup by erasing its biggest draw in favor of a zero-point bench rotation. By stubbornly forcing a forced collective team identity and rolling out lazy, low-budget promotional campaigns to artificially balance the individual spotlight, the organization isn't building team unity. They are actively alienating their audience, triggering massive public backlash, and directly cooling off the explosive fan engagement that should be fueling packed arenas.
Less tickets per game, go take a look in the mirror at how you are moving. You guys have now been relegated to using gimmicks to sell tickets. Okay, you're giving away Christmas trinkets, you're giving away holiday cards, and it's not the holidays. You're giving away everything you can to get people to come out, but while being disrespectful toward Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark fans, when you know
the direct consequence of this organizational incompetence is a catastrophic drop in box office momentum, as furious fans weaponize their wallets and leave thousands of seats empty at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The arena that sold out organically during her rookie year is now facing a severe attendance crisis because the front office stubbornly refuses to lean into the biggest draw the sport has ever seen, forcing the franchise to embarrassingly resort to desperate, low-budget desperation tactics like $28 family nights bundled with Cheez-Its, hats, and hot dogs just to artificially inflate the crowd. While visible sideline tension with the coaching staff and a hostile marketing strategy throw roadblocks in front of the brand's momentum, Caitlin Clark continues to silence the noise on the floor, surgically detonating the Seattle Storm defense with a legendary, hyper-efficient 21 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds in just over half a game. This near triple-double proves exactly why Kate Scott's fierce national broadcast defense was a masterclass in sports journalism. Clark isn't turning the ball over because she's overwhelmed. She is operating at a supersonic cognitive speed,